Hi viewers, this is Balakshmi Reddy. I have 13 years experience in teaching physics. Now I am continuing from previous topic, charging methods, charging by induction in electrostatics. How we can charge a body? We can charge a body by three methods we discussed. That is by the friction, by conduction. Briefly we have discussed about these two methods. Now by induction we are going to discuss. By friction, by conduction we have discussed. Now we are going to discuss by induction. What do you mean by induction? Okay, how it is happen? When a charged body kept near to the uncharged body, let us say this is uncharged body kept on an insulating material. This is all insulating stand, because from the surface of the earth also there is a charge gets transferred. So insulating stand I have taken. This is the uncharged body I have taken. Okay. Now this charged body, positively charged body, whenever I kept near to the uncharged body, then what will happen in this case? When I am keeping near to this, just I am keeping very near, let us say like this. So whenever I am keeping, automatically, according to the first property, these are the positive charges. This here it is a neutral, uncharged means neutral charge body. So in this, whatever the positive charge particles are there, they will repel each other. Means whatever the positive charge is located, that all will move this side. All negative charges will come and will locate or gather at this position. So this is a negatively charged body, this is a positively charged body. Okay. Now this is a negatively charged body, this is a positive charged body, gets repelled. Therefore, what happened? What I am doing here? All negative charges has come this surface, all the positive charges went that surface due to the repulsion. Now just I am taking one wire and connecting to the earth. So when I am giving the earthing, we know that positive charges will not move. Earthing, you know or you don't know, earthing. Earth is a ocean. Earth is always having ocean number of electrons. How much you want, it will give you. How much you will give, it will take. Means it is having higher. It is acts as a higher potential as well as lower potential with respect to the body. So here, when you are connecting from here, electrons will transfer from earth to body. Then whatever the number of positive charges are there, that gets neutralized by these electrons. Then this uncharged body will become after removing the earthing and after removing the charged body is filled with the large number of electrons, very few number of positive charge particles. Okay, so therefore it will become negatively charged body. So such a way we can charge uncharged body as a charged body by using induction process. Nothing but what happened here, charge has induced. Whenever you are bringing a charged body near to the uncharged body, the opposite charge has induced in the uncharged body. Therefore, that opposite charge, whenever it is induced, when you are connecting the earthing, automatically that gets neutralized the other charges. Then after removing the earthing and the charged body, the uncharged body will become as a charged body. This is a phenomenon of induction we call. What is the phenomenon of induction? When you are bringing a charged body near to the uncharged body, in uncharged body, if you are inducing the charge due to the charged body, then that phenomena is called as induction. Electrostatic induction. What is that? Electrostatic induction. Electrostatic induction precedes always attraction. Okay. So it is used in a surety test by using the repulsion process. Okay. That is in electrostatic induction. These are the three methods. Here you have used the negative charge, positive charge body, then you have obtained negatively charged body. If you are using negatively charged body is here, then you can obtain here positively charged body in a induction process. And we will discuss one small portion in induction process, that is like and two charged bodies. If you are connecting like this and uncharged body, if you are connecting like this with the insulating strands, I am connecting with the insulating strands. Okay, these insulating strands are contact with each other, contacted with each other. When you are bringing a charged body near to uncharged bodies. This is A, this is B. These two are uncharged. So, my question is that if when you are bringing a charged body near to this uncharged body, what happens in this uncharged body? Usually, all the electrons and protons get separated from each other. Then one object A only get charged, or object B only get charged, or both will get charged. We have to see that. What will happen? What will be the charge of A? What will be the charge of B? When you are keeping like this here, all the charges, since it is kept contact, this act as one material only. One metal or material only it will act. Whenever it will act one material, obviously it's like total conductor. Positive charge means all the negative charges accumulate here. All the negative charges accumulate here. All the positive charges accumulate here. So, since all the positive charges accumulated here, all the negative charges accumulated here, then here, with respect to positive charge, this here the surface has resides negative charge, here it is resides positive charge. Now, if I connect to the earthing to this part, what happens? All the positive charge gets neutralized by adapting electrons from the earth. Then this body will become here object A will get completely negative charge. Even object B also will get negative charge since it will become neutralized. So this is the way induction will be. People usually think object A only it will be happen, here only positive charges get accumulated, people will think that, but not. This total act as one conductor, therefore the objects get charged in such a way. This is a phenomenon of electrostatic induction. P. Coulomb's law of electrostatics. This is also called as inverse square law. Excuse me. Inverse square law. What is this? Coulomb's law of electrostatics or inverse square law of electrostatics is nothing but when two charges if you are taking. Okay, let us say this is charge 1 and the another charge here 2. The statement coming to the Coulomb's law of electrostatics is that electrostatic force, okay, electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion, electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges is directly proportional to product of those two charges. Electrostatic force of attraction between the two charges is directly proportional to product of those two charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them, and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them along the straight line. Square of the distance between them along the straight line. Okay, this is a statement of Coulomb's law. Why I said here, okay, product of these two charges directly proportional to electrostatic force of attraction, or repulsion also we can say that, or repulsion, because if the polarity of charges are same, then it will become repel each other. Okay, if it is opposite, they will be attracted. So electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges is directly proportional to product of those two charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them along the straight line. Why I said along the straight line? In the sense, this is a charge force between the two charges along the straight line. Okay, if I have taken the other charge here, if I present here, that is also along the straight line, but that will not affect force between these two charges. Okay, that is independent. that we will discuss later on. First of all, let me discuss. This is the equation 1 I have taken. This is the equation 2. From equation 1 and 2, we can take out F is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. If I remove the proportionality, I will get a constant F equal to K into Q1 Q2 by R square, where K is a proportionality constant. And what is a K here? What is a K? K can be written as F equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R square. This is nothing but K equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. From this, 4 pi is a constant, epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is indicating that permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space. What is this permittivity of free space? If you are placing these two charges in vacuum, then that time what is the electrostatic force between those two charges? Or if you are placing these two charges, you are placing in any other medium, then we can say that permittivity of medium. Here the epsilon naught value is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12 Newton meter square per coulomb square. Newton meter square per coulomb square. Okay, epsilon naught equal to what we can write? Epsilon will go here. Epsilon equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So the units can be written as, epsilon naught equal to coulomb square by Newton meter square. Coulomb square by Newton meter square. If you take epsilon here, so that is the epsilon naught value for the free space and vacuum. Okay, this is the Coulomb's law. This K value we can treat with respect to the dielectric constant, means dielectric constant in the sense epsilon naught. From the epsilon naught only we can explain this. In the same way, coming to the magnetic field also, we are having permeability of free space, that is mu naught. The relation between permeability and permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space is with respect to the velocity of light, c equal to 1 by under root of mu naught into epsilon naught. Whereas mu naught is the permeability of free space, epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. This is most important point in the case of Maxwell equations. For after unification of electric fields and magnetic fields, you will obtain this equation with respect to the electromagnetic waves. C is the velocity of light. This is in electromagnetic waves we will use. Now, if we will enter into the further Coulomb's law in vector form and all in next class.